um, they started introducing a roof tax, and it was quite costly, and so they just refused to pay it. So they allowed the roof to kind of eventually just capitulate, and that's what happened. The other reason was, aside from the bad blood, the weather in Ireland, as I've stated already, isn't all that good. And this was a very exposed area, and it would have taken rather a hammering from very bad weather and storms. So eventually they just decided that they would move off the rock completely, and this led to the building of the Protestant cathedral in town, which is on the grounds of the Bolton Library. So if any of you are walking around town and you want to go into the Bolton Library. By the time it was abandoned, the Archbishop here was an Archbishop Price. Now, Archbishop Price also happened to be the grandfather of Richard Guinness, and therefore great-grandfather of Arthur. Yeah. And he decided that he was going to have his private garden that would grow hops. And he came up with Ireland's most famous beer, and that was passed on to Arthur. And the first pint of Guinness was poured right here in Cashel for Archbishop Price. So if you go to Dublin and anybody tells you that the first pint of Guinness was poured in Dublin, they're lying to you. You can send them down here and I'll sort them out. Okay? And if you really want to fit in as a local, go to the bar and ask for a pint of the black stuff. Okay? And you'll fit in. So as I said, on the wall, this is the artist's interpretation. This is what we believe is on there. So you can kind of see Jesus with his hand there. But you also have the animals associated, in particular with God, you have the eagle. So it has been said that God chose the eagle, as after all it was the strongest of all birds, and that was the bird that was chosen to spread the word of God across the world. And it comes from the Gospel according to John, and it's John 11:35, which has the shortest verse in the Bible. How familiar are we with the Bible, ladies and gentlemen? Did someone say that? Someone say it? Jesus wept, yes, correct. So that's what we believe is on the wall. Any questions? Now, behind you, up until this was abandoned, these were little corridors, little passageways, and they were used by the clergy in times of attack if they needed to escape. So they could run right around and escape. Only it would have been just familiar to them, so they were the ones that were able to get away with running between the passageways. Unfortunately, they can't be right. And if we take a look over here in the wall of the nave, you have on the other side what is known as the Bishop's Palace, which is 16th century building that was kind of squeezed in. That's why the nave is much shorter. But you have this area here, which is known as the murder hole. And basically, when the site was being attacked, again, this would only be familiar to you if you were on the site. You could hide in this murder hole, and you had the advantage because you knew where you were and you could brandish your sword. You also had a series of steps, and they were known as trick steps because it was again a defensive feature. So one step, for example, the bottom step would be nice and flat, the next one would be slightly higher, the next one would be slightly higher, the next one would be lower, and the next one would be higher, and so on and so forth. So it was like running up and down, rather difficulty. And also the wall, the way it's shaped, if you were right-handed, you were at a complete disadvantage. So those, unfortunately, back then who were left-handed were left to defend the building. So they were known as murder holes. Now, if you'd like to follow me out the door over here, I'll show you St. Patrick's Well.
You told me to take many pictures.
Yeah.
so this is St. Patrick's Well here. Back in the 19th century, mid to late 19th century, somewhere around the 1860s, 1870s, thereabouts, this site had been kind of more or less long abandoned, and they crowded my work for the OPW, which is the Irish Commission for the National Trust of England, took over the site, and they did excavations of the site, and when they were here, they found a chalice well here. That chalice has now ended up in the Catholic church now in the town. It's still used only for, on rare occasions, for very special services. We want to have a look, unless there's any questions.
What is it exactly there? Well,
The well, yes, the well is still there. It's just 7 feet underground. So it's believed that this would be the water source for the rock, and is known as St. Patrick's.
able to determine the age of the chalice.
In terms of the age of the chalice, we're not quite sure. As I said, we have actually a replica version of it inside the museum, so we can have a look at that when the tour comes. Any other questions? No? Okay, so we're going to have a look over here. This way. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know the real story of how the rock of Cashel got here? Yeah? Okay, so the story goes that many moons ago, or as we say here in Ireland, fado, if you're familiar with that expression, the Lucifer was having it out with God up in heaven. God said, "I've had enough of you, get out." And he kicks him out. And he lands in the field over there, ladies and gentlemen. And he makes his way to the mountain range over here, and in anger he takes a bite out, and that becomes known as the devil's bit. He flings it here, it crashes here, and that's how the rock of Cashel got here. Now, if you take a look at the ruins down there, they are the ruins of a 13th century abbey. In this case, it's a Cistercian abbey. Now, the monks that were on this site originally were believed to have been Benedictines. So the Cistercians have been kind of a branch of them. Now, it's unusual in the fact that Cistercians like to live, they like to live further away from large large populations. So it's quite unusual that this is there. That would exist up until the time of the Reformation, when Henry VIII went his own way over the moors to Catholic and decided to create all these church. Just be careful. It would have been used at one time as a counting house for the bishop when he was on the rock, and he would distribute the money to the monks on the site. Now back in 1847, which is known for modern Irish history as Black 47, because it was the year in which the largest amount of people either emigrated or died during the Great Famine, the Great Irish Potato Famine, and would forevermore scatter the Irish throughout the four corners of the world, a large chunk going to the United States, Australia, New Zealand and various other places throughout the world. This has led to Ireland having the second largest diaspora in the world with over 70 million people.